Is there education or schooling? Let's call it, I don't want to say alternative medicine, but maybe alternative education instead of going down the same, going through the John Hopkins route. Is there another alternative for a young upcoming doctor that does not want to go through this standard of care and typical, educational path? Is there anything available in the U.S.?
Yeah, there are. There's the American Holistic Medical Association. There's A4M, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. There's several of those where you can take courses in. There's American something of functional medicine. Functional medicine is really a term that's come about because, which is more, which is what you would always expect that doctors would do, would be functional medicine. In other words, they're seeing what works, let's look at your biochemistry and make a decision based on your biochemistry instead of making a decision based on an algorithm, right? So anyway, functional medicine. So a lot of doctors are getting trained in that now, and you can get certification in that and all that. The problem is that you would have to have known this actually before you went to medical school and have chosen to be a naturopath. If you had chosen to be a naturopath, you wouldn't have gone down that allopathic path. Because when you go down the allopathic path, and that's intensive training, it gets ingrained so deeply. Like my hardest, most difficult thing when I'm training doctors is to get them to not think allopathically. And I can't, even though I can teach them all the protocols and stuff like that. But allopathy still and this is the thing about even the naturopaths. Allopathy, the foundation of allopathy is the germ theory, which became the disease theory, which became the basis of the medical model. So the medical model says you've got a disease, which is this entity that exists somewhere in the universe, or many places in the universe, and you catch it, whether it's high blood pressure, diabetes, doesn't matter, heart disease, it's a disease, and you got to get rid of it. That paradigm is the medical model. So even the naturopath who's giving you, instead of 10 prescriptions, he's giving you 10 herbs, still is operating under the fact that you have a disease and I'm going to fix it with Boswellia. I'm going to fix it with Maitake.
So we need to change the language of how we're...
Exactly, the language.
Do you take that into consideration that you need to fix the language because even the subconscious power of the mind is also curing yourself?
That's exactly it. And if we look at traditional healing, indigenous traditional healing disciplines such as traditional Chinese, Ayurvedic, even, if you go to Africa, Africa had many indigenous healing disciplines that were amazing. Europe, everywhere has got them. These disciplines are always focused on restoring balance. They see, so the Chinese will see basically a yin yang, and this is hot and fire, and they want to bring the elements back into balance. So will Ayurvedic. They want to bring the doshas back into balance. So those are the true healing disciplines. So there's a healing paradigm that means that health or optimal functioning comes about is the consequence of living a life that supplies all your biological, psychological, and spiritual needs. Okay, that the result is health. If there's any imbalance in that, then you are out of balance, right? And you need to restore that balance. And when you're out of balance, the body will engage in an adaptive response to maintain functional integrity. It has to maintain the function. Okay, so that adaptive response is what the allopaths are calling a disease.